Let me just say, welcome. This is Darren Rowan, your host of the Better Way Podcast, Season 2. Look, I'm happy. I'm so excited. I'm overjoyed to finally get this thing started. And so I thought it'd be fitting if I entitled the first podcast of Season 2, Stop Wasting Time. Because that's important. Have you ever wanted to do something so bad in your life but you continually tell yourself, maybe next time, I'm not ready, conditions aren't right, and all the times that you're putting delays in your life, the one thing you will not delay is time. Time will move with you or without you. And the excuses that we make ourselves continually over and over again to not start something is what keeps us sometimes in a state of feeling paralyzed. I had this feeling when starting this podcast. I knew I wanted to start Season 2 podcast, and honestly, it was supposed to be January 3rd. But I kept putting things above what I wanted to do. I continually made excuses why. I continually said it's going to be this weekend. I continually began to do things and say things that was not putting me into what I wanted to do for myself. And that is to bring out Season 2 of a motivational, inspirational podcast. And maybe you can look back over something that you are passionate about. Maybe there's something that you want to do great in your life. Maybe there's something that you keep in your back pocket, but you know it's time for you to live it out. Things will always be met with disappointment. Things will always be met with adversity. Great things in your life, you are going to have to make a conscious decision to move forward in. And if you allow those moments to keep you from the starting line, they will always keep you from the finish line. You see, I had to reconnect with what my why was. I knew I wanted to do a podcast that could be inspirational. I knew I wanted a podcast that would be motivational. I knew I wanted a podcast that can help people and help people to see and understand that there is a better way to what they are dealing with on a daily basis. I know that's my why. What is your why? Does your why make you smile? Does your why make you cry? Does your why give you a sense of emotion? Because it is then when you find out what it is that you are called to do, your greater purpose, your direction, as my mentor would say, your GPS of your life, that's when you will allow nothing and no one to keep you from reaching your greatness. I know it's hard. Man, look, I know it's hard. I almost didn't want to do this podcast today. I came into the library to set up my equipment, and I forgot my computer. How can I record my podcast without my computer? Then the library showed me how I can use their Mac computer. Then I said, oh man, I forgot my USB drive. How can I use your Mac computer and I can't record to my USB drive? Oh my goodness, I left my microphone. Now I know I wasn't supposed to do this today. Let me just pack up my bag and walk out the library, make another appointment for another day, come back in here and record the podcast. Let's just start over. And as I sat down, I said, how many times, D, are you going to say, let's start over? How many times are you going to waste your time? How many times are you going to put what God has put inside of you on the back burner because you are afraid to just start? Somebody can understand what I'm saying today and can relate to what I'm saying today because you've been called to a project. You've been called to make an impact. You've been called to be an inspiration. You have been called to be a leader, but yet you self-sabotage yourself and you never start. Well, I want this to be about stop wasting our time. Turn the TV off and start. Turn off the trap music. I love my music too, trust me. And one day we'll talk about that. Turn off those sad love songs. Turn off Netflix. Tell your girlfriend you call her later. Tell your bros you catch up with them later. And start. You got to be able to change your mindset on why you're not starting. And sometimes in order to change our mindset, you have to give yourself a mental bodyguard. Walk with me as I paint this picture for you. Imagine being in a upscale event. You're dressed up nice. You got your significant other with you. Men, you have on a really nice tuxedo. My females, you have on a beautiful, beautiful gown. And everybody is enjoying themselves. And then all of a sudden, chatter begins to surface throughout the room. What was once a beautiful and elegant event with good times and high vibes had all of a sudden become dark and gloomy. People were becoming sad, and the DJ had changed up the tunes and nobody was on the dance floor. And then you looked at the front door as you and your significant other and your friends were trying to converse and figure out what was going on. You look at the door and you see that the door is wide open. The only problem with the door being wide open is that there is no bodyguard. And the bodyguard's job when the event first started was to keep the negativity, adhere to the dress code. If you didn't come in dressed like the flyer said, if you didn't come in appropriately aged, if you didn't come in accordance to what was called for the event, you could not enter. Now imagine that being your mindset. There are things that you are going to have to change in your mindset in order for you to come in touch with the person of you that's going to have to stop wasting time. You're going to have to give your mind a mental bodyguard. My mentor said, D, not just a mental bodyguard, you got to give yourself a mental yard sale. And we're going to talk about that one day too. You got to take all the riffraff that is rolling around in your mind, all of those negative thoughts just keep reoccurring every single day of your mind and telling you that you can't do this, telling you that you can't have this, telling you that abundance isn't yours, telling you that health isn't yours, telling you this, telling you this, telling you this, and it's sinking you every single day because you do not take those things mentally out of your mind. Put them on the curve. Put a piece of tape on them. You can have for free. That is the garbage that is floating around in our mindsets. So I don't know what it is today that I hope I can encourage you with today, but I would encourage you to just start. Stop wasting time. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, whatever it is that you know inside your heart that you can make an impact to this world, start. Start. Imagine yourself at the starting line of your dreams. And on this side of you is doubt. And on the other side of you is worry. And on the other side of them is a lack of value. And on the other side of them is some more negativity. And here you are at the starting line with everything that is causing you or could cause you opposition. And when the man begins to count down to begin the race, 3, 2, and the gun goes off, and you come out of the starting gate running as hard as you can. You know that doubt is on your heels. You know that worry is on your heels. You know that the sense of apprehension is on your heels, but you have trained for this. And they may be running neck and neck with you as you go around the very first turn, but you keep running anyway because you trained for this. And then when you get on the fairway, when you get on the straight path of the race, that's when your endurance kicks in. That's when your resolve kicks in. That's when you being everything for yourself kicks in. And you win the race. You win the race to your dreams. You win the race to your goals. You win the race because you chose to start. So my friends, stop wasting time. Because there's something in your life that you want bad enough that it's time for you to stop saying maybe next time. Darren Rowan. There's always a better way. And clap for yourself.